All right, folks, welcome back to Kings of Opinion, episode 68. Another day, another nice day in the summer. And we got the Wander and Ernie here. Guys, say hello.
Hot one today.
Glad to have you with us.
Yeah, it certainly was. But you know what? I guess we should take this over the last week where it was rain all week, you know?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Good golf weather, too, today. Great golf weather.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll get out there soon. I'm hankering to play some golf over this weekend. Hopefully you'll join me, Big Ern. We'll have some fun out there.
I got it may be a bit of rain involved this weekend.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
What day?
Saturday.
Oh, that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, Saturday's okay.
Actually, there's this island-wide weather. Shout out to them on Instagram. So yeah, I don't know if I think it's Friday, possibly Saturday. I'm not sure beyond that.
That's okay. Friday into Saturday is fine. As long as it's not Friday early afternoon or Sunday middle of the day.
Sunday, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
Did you guys hear what the name of the new tropical storm in the Caribbean is?
No.
Hurricane Pugs?
No.
Damn. Hurricane Ernie?
Ernesto.
Ernesto? Get out of here.
A doctor was telling me this at work today.
Really?
He's like, oh, congratulations.
That's something. Now I know someone that a hurricane was named after. This is great. I don't think my name will ever, or our name I should say, will never be a hurricane. I don't think it's in the cards. But we'll see. You never know. All right, so that's exciting. How you feel about it?
I just found out about it a little while ago at work. She said the new hurricane is named after you, just like you.
Right. So it really hasn't hit you yet, the excitement.
No.
Yeah, when it comes up here as tropical storm Ernesto, then maybe you'll have some excitement.
Yeah, I just checked on my phone. And, you know, when you go to the left of the top stories, it says Tropical Storm Ernesto. I'll have to become a hurricane by early Wednesday.
Oh, you're gonna be a hurricane by
Yeah.
early Wednesday. Oh, so you're going up before you come back down. Look at that. That's exciting. I just thought you were just gonna be a tropical storm. Now I'm like, that's no big deal. You know, tropical storm is like, regular rain almost nowadays. We're used to it. But that's good news. Start our show off on a high note. So did anyone watch this weekend's game against the Yankees and the Rangers? Or better yet, did you listen on the radio?
I did get to listen to the first few innings of Saturday.
Yeah.
Obviously, because Friday was very bad,
Right. So Saturday I got to listen to a little bit on the road, going to Migrant Steve's barbecue.
Correct.
And then Sunday I listened to it, and Craig Carton was doing the broadcast, for the WFAN.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for that set of games, like Saturday and Sunday. It was supposed to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wound up being a doubleheader Saturday, and then the last game on Sunday. And he was working with Susan Waldman, which, if you ever listen to Craig, he always used to make fun of Susan Waldman, and he sounded pretty good.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
I didn't know. Obviously, he has to have some kind of broadcasting background. I didn't think he did so much play-by-play. Like he told, I think it was yesterday, he was on the fan with an interview with the guys, and he was talking about it, and he had a blast, and he was kind of funny at times. Like there were some things that
he definitely tried to throw his twist onto the game.
Yeah,
it worked okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was.
And Susan was a professional. She seemed like she didn't bite at a lot of his jokes,
right.
Which was great. She's like, I'm not even going to entertain this or whatever, or like, let's go back to baseball. So that in itself I thought was funny.
Yeah.
But if you put him with like somebody like that, or someone with a personality like that, I think that broadcast will be really, really funny. You know?
For sure. Which will be the complete opposite of what we've ever been used to, right? Because I can't ever remember really listening to anybody do a game on the radio that was, through that comedic twist into it.
Yeah, no, I don't think you really did. It was more just about the baseball and everything, but it was nice to hear. It was, it kept you engaged. I was listening. I wanted to listen to him to see what he would say, So I thought that was pretty cool. Other than that, he didn't make, to me, many mistakes or anything like that,
No, a couple of times I I heard where he called out the wrong player's name, but not anything that stood out, not anything that anybody else
Hasn't
didn't-
done.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
He did call Juan Soto Luis Soto, and he did mention in his interview that he didn't even know Luis Soto was a player for the Yankees.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I thought that was funny. Whether or not he's being serious or not, but
Probably not.
either which way, that was pretty funny. Well, if you're not a Yankee fan and weren't around at that time, like I want to say it was Soto was on the team in the around 99 2000
Yeah.
era. So you might not know who he was because he was like a backup utility infielder, and back then you really didn't. Those guys didn't play multiple positions like they do now, where like you see them more in games. You know what I mean? So I could see him sort of telling the truth, but also it's Craig, so you never know if he's just doing it for a joke. You know?
Yeah, he seems to do
So
it.
I'm 50-50 on it. But other than that, he did a great job. Kudos to him. And he also did say that, if they did come knocking on his door, he'd have to entertain the offer, at least sit down and talk to him about it.
Well, I mean, like you said, you have to, right?
Mhm.
How can you not? And listen, I'm sure, there's got to be something to the fact that they're doing this because they, maybe need to start
Looking.
thinking about Susan's replacement. She's not going to do this forever.
Right. So here's the thing. Do you think they're just going to change it, like she's going to retire at the end of this year, and they're going to change the whole broadcast?
I don't know if it's necessarily the end of this year, but yeah, I think that they're probably, who knows? Maybe the guys that have been working with her so far this year haven't been getting the most positive of feedback, so they're like, we need to, like you said, maybe find a whole new team, and replacing those guys and her when she's ready to go,
Because, how much longer do you see her really doing this?
I mean, I can't see her doing it much longer, to be honest.
Isn't she like 80 years old or something like that?
She's not young, and she's been doing this a long time.
Yeah. So my feeling is that they're going to be trying a whole bunch of different things to see what they get the best outcome of. The only problem is
I wouldn't be surprised.
the Yankees approached Craig about it, so he did it. It wasn't even like through the Fan or Fox or anything like that. So he's making a lot of money with Fox with his show on FS1. How much I don't know, but it's obviously significant for him to leave the Fan in the first place.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if the Yankees could match that or whatever, because just being, what is Craig, like, let's say like 50 years old, let's say,
Yeah.
right? Like if you got that job and stuck with it and even got a little bit better, which comes with doing the broadcast more, you could have that job for 30 years.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you'd be the voice of the Yankees, and there's not a lot of people that have done it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit on the younger side, but I don't remember anyone besides John Sterling and then Michael Kay. And then I know before that, I forget who the guy's name was, but then it was Mel Allen somewhere in there too, right?
Yeah, and well, Phil Rizzuto was TV, right?
TV, yeah. I made that mistake myself, but I remember him use TV. But I don't know if he started on radio
Yeah.
first.
For us, as long as we've been alive, I think it's or listening, it's been Sterling.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know that I ever knew anyone else besides Sterling.
Well, there was definitely someone before him, and I know.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that I was at that point listening to the Yankees on the radio.
No, yeah, no. That's more of like an older person thing anyway, or once you got into like your 20s, I would assume, and you're working, driving and all that. Because otherwise you'd be sitting at home watching the game.
Right.
So, but it was definitely Sterling for a while, and then Michael Kay was with Sterling for like 10 years. Then he was with Susan Waldman. So that's pretty much all we've known. And I don't know who was before him. I'd have to look it up. But, so that was the good news for the Yankees. They did take 2 out of 3 against the Rangers, whoop-de-doo. But then they go play Chicago yesterday, who lost 24 out of 25 games,
That's just.
and they look like
What time was that game?
8-10.
Okay.
You were probably almost like not caring about sports
No,
at that
I
point.
think I was confused because I think the Michael K show was off this week,
Oh, okay.
so they had
Games.
the game probably from the day before.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like the White Sox, I don't think have put 12 runs on the board almost all year. I mean, I'm sure they have earlier, but they've been awful for more than a month, like worse than the Yankees were. And you go into Chicago, and it's not even that they couldn't compete. The first 3-4 innings, they had like bases loaded twice, man on first and second, no outs, or second and third with no outs. Like they were getting guys on all over the place, and they just couldn't get any kind of hits going.
Yeah, I'm not too sad that I missed that game. That's pretty.
No, I turned it off in the 7th inning. I was like, this is ridiculous. After they scored all those runs in the 6th, I was like, the Yankees got the top of the 7th, and if they don't score like 5 or 6 runs, I'm shutting this down. And it's sad. Like, now they have to win the next 2 games. You can't lose 2 out of 3 to the Chicago White Sox. So they better wake up today, and they better hit the ball all over the place. And I don't want to see like
Yeah, I mean,
8-1, 4 home runs by the normal suspects like Soto and Judge, and even Chisholm for that matter. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that. I need a complete. I'd rather see 16 hits, no home runs, and then slapping the ball all over the place. You know, because that guy was very mediocre yesterday playing against the Yankees. The pitcher,
Yeah.
I think it was Kyle Bust or something like that.
that's kick in the nuts. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, they got to get it together.
I saw some guy at the Chicago, one of the fans at the White Sox Stadium had a sell the team blanket or what a sheet, I guess, or whatever, and they tried to take it from him, but he held his ground.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
That's funny. See, listen, we're all fans and we all get upset at our teams, but like
They should legitimately sell it.
I don't know why though. Not even what I say 2 years ago they were contending for a wild card.
Who owns the White Sox? Is it Jerry Reinsdorf still, or did he ever own it?
I don't know. I don't know. But they're like the Mets to the Yankees. Like they're like the sister ball club to the Cubbies, and the Cubbies aren't really that good either.
Yeah, they're both sister boys at this point.
Yeah, it's like twin sisters. But either which way, like the White Sox weren't bad for too long. It's only been 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I remember they were pretty bad last year.
no, they were definitely bad last year, but the year before they were pretty good because the next year they traded their guy to the Houston Astros. I forget his name.
Outfielder, right?
Yeah, is it Yolandi Alvarez or something like that
Yeah, Giordano Alvarez.
There you go. Thank you. So when he was on the team, they were pretty good. They just weren't like great enough to
A
compete.
couple of these young guys that were supposed to be studs haven't panned out. Anderson, who was there, who did nothing.
Right.
Mick Roberts, or whatever his damn name is
Luis Roberts.
Luis Roberts. He hasn't panned out.
Either which way, the Yankees got to win tonight and win tomorrow. And then I don't remember who they're playing after that, but hopefully take some of those games. Oh, they're playing the Tigers, so they're staying relatively close for the weekend.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So you gotta win at least 4 of these games for the next 5, because then you play the Cleveland Indians at home. That's gonna be a tough 3 games. Then you got the Rockies. That should be, the Mets did their thing against the Rockies. The Yankees should too, and they're at home. And then you got the Nationals. And this is a very easy schedule. They should be getting fat off these teams. You know what I mean?
It's funny, I was looking, just happened to peek at the standings, I don't know if it was yesterday or whatever. And it's like as many disappointing spots as there's been, they were still tied for the best record in baseball.
Isn't that crazy? I saw that today myself because there was something on Instagram and they had the top 5 top teams, and the Yankees and Baltimore share that one spot, but Baltimore gets it a little bit. They're like the number 1 rank, and then the Yankees, but they have the same record. Then you got the Guardians the Phillies, and the Dodgers, all with 69 wins. So as bad as we were for 6 weeks, and everyone was going crazy, we're one of the still best teams in baseball,
Yeah.
which is wild, you know. But I don't know.
What's going on with all the injured guys? I mean,
It's not great. Like, they're very vague on when they're coming back. Like, Clark Schmidt is still throwing like sessions, like bullpen sessions or whatever, or live batting practice. Like, I don't know when he's necessarily coming back, but I think his injury was like the lat or whatever it's called, or oblique or whatever. I can't believe it's taken this long. Like, he's been out since May 30th. It's been over 2 months now.
and what are they saying about the Martian?
The Martian's in the minor leagues. I don't think he's just going to come until September because of his, I forget what they call it, but his playing time in the majors.
Yeah.
So like they bring him up too early.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, this year will count as a year, and they'll lose a year of free agency arbitration for him.
Gotcha.
So like they're just, I guess, just trying to weather the storm until September. Which at this point, like if you can't beat these teams with the team you have, like the Martians shouldn't be up here anyway.
Yeah.
Like they're not really playing anyone good this month besides the Guardians and maybe the Tigers. Are the Tigers any good anymore? Like, have they fallen off? I know they were like hanging around, but you know, let's see here. Get right to it. Yeah, I mean the Tigers are 56 and 63, so better than they normally are, but they're still a sub 500 team. You should be able to pounce all over them.
Right.
The only team you have to worry about is the Guardians. And it looks like they won today because now they got their or maybe yesterday, they got their 70th win yesterday.
Oh.
So, and the Orioles, I guess, didn't play yesterday because
No.
they're half game ahead now. So right now there's a 3-way tie. Yep. 4-way tie for all 4 teams have 70 wins. The only one that don't are the Phillies that I mentioned earlier. So I don't know if you guys are on TikTok much. I wonder. I know you're probably not, but there's this other, I guess, like TikTok. They might have a podcast too. I'm not sure. I don't know their names. I should have took a screenshot of it so I could, you know, give them a shout out. But it's 3 guys. The first guy that was making this comment, I don't know what kind of fan he is, like if it's Yankees or Mets or somebody else. But the other 2 guys, one guy's like a skinny kid with glasses. He's a Met fan. And there's another guy who's a little heavier set. He's a Yankee fan. So the guy started off the TikTok clip as, I'm going to tell you why Witt Jr. is going to win AL MVP over Aaron Judge. Now, not that Witt Jr. is not a great shortstop and he's doing really, really well. He's batting like over 340 or whatever. And I could pull up stats all day. I already did this the other day because when he said that, I almost went nuclear because I don't understand, like, everywhere you see whenever Aaron Judge does anything, he's like, oh, he's having the best career in history. It's even better than 2022, even though it's probably going to fall short of that, at least home run wise. But everything else is higher from 2022 to now with Judge. That's why they're saying, like, it's a historically better season and one that you might never see again. Like, he's still kind of in the realm of a triple crown, even though Bobby Witt's 18 to 20 points higher than him in batting average. But that's the only thing Witt is leading him on. Everything that all these guys talk about as far as offensive numbers, Aaron Judge is first in all of them. Home runs, RBIs, runs, walks, OPS, on-base percentage, WAR, you name it. He's number 1 in all of them.
Yeah, I mean, which one of the 3 was making this comment?
The first guy, the guy I don't know what fan he is.
Oh, okay.
Like, I want to say he's a Yankee fan because I've seen their videos before, but I'm second guessing because how could you be that blind? You know what I mean?
Especially if you're a Yankee.
Right, you're watching Aaron Judge. How could you tell me someone's having a better season than him?
And listen, the fact of the matter is that I think, you know, I mean, obviously, I guess I'm in the minority, but as years have gone by, but what are the Royals doing this year?
Well, they're in third. They're 65 and 54. So they're competing for a wild card.
So they're having a decent year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's
They're in the third spot right now, and
I
they're
think,
2 ahead.
You know, I think the whole meaning of what that means is gone by the wayside, right? Because if it wasn't for Judge, where would the Yankees be this season?
Right.
So that's what most valuable needs to be.
Agreed. But even on top of that, he's also leading in every offensive category. So, like, you know how there's years, and I was never a fan of this, but there's always teams where, or years where you pick an MVP and he's on a really crappy team. To me, I agree with you. That's not an MVP because no matter how good you did, I don't care. All right, I'm not going to say that, but I was going to say I don't care if you hit 1,000 home runs in a season.
Right.
But
What's the difference if you lost 90 games in the season or 110 if you weren't there?
right, you know what I mean? Like it's still a losing ball club, which means he might be the MVP of your team, but is he the MVP of the league because of that? No.
Right.
Right. So that's one. Two.
Why is he the most valuable? You didn't get to the playoffs.
Right.
You didn't do anything good, so why is he the most valuable?
And then the knock is going to be, oh, we have 2 MVPs on our team with Soto, and I get that, but he still even has better numbers than Soto.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the only problem is that you run into that situation where does Soto take votes from Judge when it comes to the people who make these decisions?
Yes and no. Yes, he does, but he might also take votes away from other guys on other teams anyway.
Sure.
At the end of the day, the numbers should be what matter, and if you're on a winning ball club. Like right now, was it Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yeah.
He's on the Royals. They're in the wild card by 2 games over the Red Sox and Mariners, right? But in their own division, they're in 3rd place, which means 2 other teams are better than him. So okay, he's good, and the Kansas City are in the wild card hunt and right now in the playoff picture right now, which is great, which is what they haven't done in a while, not too long, but you know, a few years back, whatever, and that's all good, well, and everything. But if you put his numbers up against Judge's numbers,
Yeah.
all teams aside and all everything
Yeah,
else
so-
aside, someone's numbers is better than
The
the other.
problem is he plays for the Yankees. You know that there's so many haters out there when it comes to the New York teams, and you know there's going to be those few morons out there that say, well, if Soto wasn't there, would Judge be putting up these numbers? Even though he did it when Judge wasn't there.
Yeah, he did it last year too, and he got hurt. And that's another point of mine. He got hurt for 10 weeks last year. He wasn't around. The Yankees took a dive like they did this year, only 4 weeks worse, and they wound up only being 82 and 80.
Right.
There's a chance, be that small chance, that you
So
might
there's-
surpass 82 wins this month.
Right, and there's the argument right there that maybe even more so than any other year, he could have won MVP last year because of him getting hurt. The Yankees.
They didn't win 10, 11, 12 extra games to get in the playoffs, right? So right now he's, knock on wood, hasn't gotten hurt and he's been playing out of his mind. And what I like is he's not just doing it with the home run. Like everyone's saying, oh, he hasn't hit a home run in a couple of games or what have you. That's fine. Or he's not, it's not even that. He's not hitting it at the pace he was, I guess, in July and part of June where he was hitting home runs like every 6 at-bats, whatever, right? That's fine to me. You know what's more impressive in all this to me? He's hitting well over 300.
Well over 320, right?
It was a little over 320. But if you put that in perspective, right, or just like for stat purposes, right, you go to batting average, right, and this is all of baseball. Give me a guess on how many guys are hitting over 300 in baseball.
10?
15.
9. 9 guys out of how many players? Let's just say 1,000. Might not be that much, but 32 teams.
700?
800 guys. 9 people in 2024 as of right now. And don't get me wrong, there's a few guys on the cusp if you wanted to add them almost to the list. They're not over 300, but they're close. You got 299, 298, and 297. You could expand that list 6 more people, so you'd have your 15, right? That's if they have a good day, right? because in order to get those 3 points, you'd probably almost have to go 2 for 4, 3 for 5, something like that.
Yep.
You know, which is not easy to do nowadays either, right? And he's one of them. He's second in all of baseball in batting average. He's actually hitting.
He's second?
He's actually even higher than I said it, which shame on me. I should have probably checked this before the show, but whatever. He's hitting 329.
Wow.
329.
So he's almost up 10 points in like a week.
Yeah. Because you know what he's doing?
That's impressive at this point in the season.
Yeah, he's just getting hits.
Shit, so he's hitting 330?
329. And Witt is hitting 347. So he's not that far off. A bad streak for him, a good streak for Judge, is just being consistent. You're right there. You know?
And what has he got? 43 homers?
Let's go to the videotape. 42 homers.
And how many OBS?
107.
And what's Bobby Witt's numbers looking like?
All right, let me tell you. So, Witt has 101 runs scored. Judge has 93, right? Those are runs. Home runs. Witt is not even a top 10.
What's he got though?
23. He's
All right.
top 20. Okay? So he's got 20 more home runs basically over him. On base percentage, Judge is 463. Witt is 395, which is good. Don't get me wrong, that's good. You're right on the cusp of 400, which is 40% of the time you're on base. That's what you like to see. But it's not 463, you know? And just Juan Soto is second with 431 on base percentage, so that's really good too, right? What other one you want to see? Slugging, 699 for Judge. Witt is 608.
What is he at in ribbies with?
Ribbies?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Judge, 107. Witt, 88. But he is top 4, to be fair. So he's out of all of baseball, okay?
But big difference.
But huge difference. 21 RBIs, huge. Or, I'm sorry, 19. OPS, Judge is 1.162. Witt is just barely over 1. It's 1.003.
I didn't think he would be that high.
Right. He beats him on hits, I'm sure, by a decent amount. Witt has him 165 to 138. What else we got? Walks, Judge has 99, leads all of baseball. Right after that is Soto at 98.
Wow.
And Witt is really nowhere to be found on here. I can't find him, which is
Wow.
wild to me.
So they're gonna have 2 guys with over 100 walks.
Easily. They're going to have 2 guys with over 100 walks, 100 runs scored, and 100 RBIs. And probably both guys obviously over 40 home runs.
And both batting over 300. So is Soto still over 300?
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he's 302. So out of the 9 guys that are hitting 300, 2 of them are Yankees. Where I want to see more, obviously, right? But you know, beggars can't be choosers. But anyway, so to me that makes me angry that you're, saying things like that and then comparing. And then what made me look all this up is the guy said Judge, and this is probably why he's not a Yankee fan, because you couldn't be if you were saying this. He's at best average defensive center fielder or outfielder.
I mean, I don't know what has transpired in his career that he would even make that comment.
All I know is I've seen that guy rob people of home runs in right field and center. I've seen him throw laser darts to the infield to throw guys out at the plate in third and second.
I mean, I'll be honest, I think that's probably the first time I've ever heard anybody even talk about Judge's defense. I don't think I've ever heard his defense come up.
Me neither, unless it was something to complement his defense. You know what I mean? And so, I wish I would have saved it because I got so mad at that comment, I sent them a message through that video.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you guys must be out of your mind if you think Judge is an average center fielder. I don't know what you're seeing, and I went on. I didn't get vulgar or anything like that. I didn't do anything crazy. I know you're thinking I was going to do, but I didn't do it. But I was like, you guys are out of your mind. If you think he's an average center fielder, I made some kind of reference. I forget what it was. I should have screenshotted it so I could read it. But, you know, you live and you learn, right? So, yeah, that's that. Getting on to the Mets.
He doesn't even play center field every day. I mean,
No.
It's not like...
Matter of fact, he's played all 3 outfield positions.
Right.
He's played left this year, center, and right. And he DHs. But that's only out of necessity.
That would even come up as...
I don't know where that would come from. Like, what metrics are you using? Like, listen, I don't pay attention to metrics. I watch him every day, and I see how he throws the ball on fields.
You can't even, like, you're making that comment about somebody who plays that position every single day, right? That's your only person at that position. He doesn't play that position every day, so you really don't even consider him a center fielder. He's considered an outfielder. You know,
If anything, he'd be considering a right fielder, but not this year because Soto's there.
Right.
But even if you consider him an outfielder, I've never watched a game on any network, whether it be the streaming sites, the Yes Network, ESPN, Fox, whatever, where they said he's a average to below average outfielder. Never once heard that.
Like I said, I don't think I've ever
Never
heard
once.
a comment about his
Never.
defense.
And you see as a cannon, he's thrown out guys all over the place.
Yeah.
So just off that alone, how are you an average outfielder if you're throwing guys out?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the Mets for a little bit. What do you got to say, Wander? Give it to us.
It started off kind of shaky, and then they were able to, win the game against the one game against the Cardinals. I believe it was last Monday. Then they went to Colorado and were able to take 2 out of 3.
But they lost the first one to Colorado.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
But then over the weekend in Seattle, they could not score at all, and they got swept. Sunday, I was to say, was even a little more painful because I was watching a bit, and Lindor had a chance to get them out of the inning. They don't, by making a play, they don't get out. I think it was like maybe a pitch or 2 later, 2-run homer, and it got worse from there.
I heard they scored 1 run against the Mariners all weekend.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all weekend. Now, to be fair, the Mariners threw their 3 best starting pitchers against them,
That's true.
and they're at least stat-wise.
And they have very good starting pitchers.
Yeah, at least stat-wise, their 3 starters are ranked top 25 in baseball. So,
Wow.
that's pretty good. So I'll give the Mets a little slack on that. And that was also the tail end of the West Coast trip. These West Coast trips are tough.
And they that was, not an average West Coast trip too, with the you throw in the little detour to St. Louis and then back.
Yeah, it was weird too because you started in Anaheim.
Right.
And obviously you can't plan for this. This is just how you get screwed throughout the season, which is why baseball, and we could have that argument another time, is why you need the 162 games,
Right.
because they had an off day. But because of the rain out, now you're going from Anaheim. So you're flying from New York to Anaheim, lose 2 out of 3 to the Angels, which the Yankees also did. They just did it at home. Then fly to St. Louis, then fly back to Colorado, and then go to Seattle.
Yeah.
So those are all tough flights, right? So, and then I saw some of the game, at least some of the Sunday game. The Mets were set up to get swept on Sunday because there was the Sunday night game.
Right.
And I don't know if anyone knew this, but the Mariners haven't had a Sunday night baseball game in forever. It was like 20 years.
Really?
Right.
know that.
So they were probably all jacked up off of being on a Sunday night baseball, and they just put it to the Mets, what can you do, right? At that point, you know what I'm saying? And the Jets, the Mets, sorry, looked lifeless.
Yeah.
So it was the last game. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they were set up for failure over this weekend because of all that. They're now home. They play tonight,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Who are they playing tonight?
Oakland, I think.
Okay, so that works for them hopefully because Oakland's not that good either.
Yeah.
So hopefully they could get a couple wins under their belt and
Yeah,
get.
My brother-in-law's taking the kids to the game.
Oh yeah, is that Master Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Master Joe. He's the man. So yeah, hopefully they can get fat off them, and then who do they play after that on the home stretch? I think it's 2 easy teams.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 2 easier teams, but I can't remember after Oakland. But yeah, anyway, I think the Mets will be okay. I think they're only a game or a game and a half out of the wild card. I want to say. Let's check it out. They're a game out of the wild card, and they're right behind the Braves.
Yeah, and that's not after after getting swept. I mean, it's not too bad.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so they play the A's till Thursday. Trying to see. Of course, I can't find their schedule. But, I want the Mets to make a little bit of a run here, but not too much. I don't want to hear Steve's mouth that they're riding the Grimace era and all this other nonsense. You know what I mean? It's going to drive me nuts. But we'll see what's going on with that. So, is anyone getting excited for football to be back, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten crazy about it. Not too confident on the prospects of the Cowboys season this year. So.
Nor should you be, and that's a shame because the Cowboys are a team I like to root for all season, just to see them lose in the playoffs in some unexpected way, But yeah, like now they just might not be good at all. So like you're gonna be watching Sunday football, and you're almost gonna feel like a Jet fan. Like you're just gonna watch misery on the field. The only thing that you can take solace in is that some people like misery.
Either that or the only thing is like the year that we expect nothing is when they do the most.
That's true too. Only reason why I'm starting to get excited is because now they're having the practices and like now it's the preseason coming. Like for the most part, like they got one game under their belt. So a lot of these like either radio talk shows or TV talk shows, they're all going to the fields and they're getting all these interviews from all these guys that are practicing, and it just gets you all jacked up.
Yeah.
Like they're all talking a good game, and it's like you start to get pumped for the season. And I almost have to check myself because I don't want baseball to be done yet. Like as much as this season's been like a roller coaster ride for both teams, and they've been very similar, the Mets and Yankees, just when one's doing good, the other one's doing bad, and then vice versa, right? You know what I mean? And we've said that before on the show, so I won't get into it. But I want to see what's next. Like we're not at the home stretch yet, but we're only a few weeks away. Like once September 1st comes, we're in the home stretch. Like that last month is going to be huge to decide who's going to be where, what kind of races we're going to have down to the very end. I don't know about the Mets. Like you'd have to do like your kind of research on it. But I know for the Yankees in September, like they play the Baltimore Orioles at the very end of the season. And it's like the only team they play after the Orioles are the Pittsburgh Pirates. So like if you have a good series, like if it's tight like it is right now, like a half game either which way or a game, and those 3 games against the Orioles matter, and you win 2 out of 3, not only do you could win the division right there, but you win the tiebreaker on that week.
Yeah.
Because I want to say they're, I think they're 5-5 or 4-6. If they're 4-6, then they have to sweep Baltimore. And then if they did, they'd pick up 3 games and it'd be almost a dead issue. But if you won 2 out of 3 and you picked up a game and you're a game ahead of them or something like that in the East, and then you have to play the Pittsburgh Pirates that might not be playing for anything, like that's interesting to me,
I mean, the way they've been going all season, it looks like it's gonna end that way, right? 'Cause
Yeah, I agree. Like, September could be a crazy month for both the Mets and the Yankees, and a host of other teams. The Royals, the Red Sox.
when one was winning, the other was winning. When one was losing, the other was losing.
Yeah. Like the Orioles went on almost just as bad of a stretch as the Yankees during that time. The same thing with the Braves. When the Mets were doing really good, the Braves were going through a bad stretch, which is why they caught up to the Braves, eventually surpassed them, and now they're just a game behind them.
Right.
So like it's so weird how this season's going right now, where it could come down for a bunch of teams unless someone gets really, really hot and like goes on like a 10 to 12 game winning streak, where those last 6 games are going to matter so much to a bunch of teams.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like even let's standing wise. I want to see something real quick. Even the Central, which is always crap, the Twins are only 3.5 games behind the Guardians, who have 70 wins.
Wow.
So the Twins aren't even bad either. Like they pick up another game or two, they're right in the thick of it.
So the Twins have 67 wins?
66, close, not bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, they have a couple extra losses. They have 4 less wins and 3 less losses,
Wow.
or 3 more losses, I should say. You know, and then you got the Astros and the Mariners. They're only a half a game apart, so those are all 3 divisions are kind of tight. Then you go to the National League. The only one that's looks like they're almost all running away with it. The Phillies are above the Braves and the Mets by 7 and 8 games, and then the Central 2, the Brewers are 7.5 games better than the Cardinals. But then you got the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. They're only 3.5 games apart. You know, and the Giants.
Oh, how great would it be if the Dodgers?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, the Padres have the same exact record as the Diamondbacks. They unloaded Soto and all this other shit, and they're 3.5 back of the Dodgers too. So those are like, what is it, 4 out of 6 divisions that are in the mix right now, which only makes the wild card even more complicated. I'm not even gonna get into that now until we get closer to September. We're gonna end that right there. But as far as sports and everything, I'm excited for all these upcoming things that are happening. I'm looking forward to September. I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit and enjoy the rest of this summer and the nice golf weather, you know, and we'll go from there. Ernie, I didn't forget that you still owe me money for Ocean City and Eisenhower. So before you leave, I'm gonna run your pockets.
Yeah, I got no cash. We do have a little bit of breaking news. My good Steve just sent over the draft order for the
Oh, yeah?
Lynn family.
All right. So okay, so here we go. What do we got? Do you want to go 1 to what is it, 12?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go 12 to 1?
Nah.
All right. Start us off. Let's give us the what is it? The Linda's League fantasy football draft
Yes.
order. Go ahead. Lead us off.
Number 1 is Chris.
Okay.
Pick number 2 is Steve. Pick number 3 is Schmedium. Pick number 4 is Pugs.
Ooh.
Pick
Okay.
number 5 is Ash. Pick number 6 is Colleen. Pick number 7 is Paul. Of course, the Limbs got the 2 best picks.
Right.
8 is Nick. 9 is me. 10 is Megan. 11 is Jenna. And 12 is Connor.
Who the hell's Megan?
Their friend that was in it last year.
Oh, okay. All right. So, how do you feel about it? 9. I'd rather have 9 and 4. So if you want to trade, I'm up to it.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, they're both the exact same pick, aren't they?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just opposite sides of the spectrum.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just rather your pick, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I probably would agree.
Yeah. I like, and wait, get in here if you will. I like as close to the middle of the pack as I can get. So if it's 12, 6, like 5, 6, 7.
So you're not doing 2 picks every time.
Yeah, and like you also have time to see like how the draft order is going, because when you pick like first and you have to wait, basically like 24 picks to come back to you. That's too much time.
Yeah.
When you pick 12th and you're on the clock for 2, now you got to make split decisions on okay, what, and it gets worse as you go down. Like the first 2 picks are easy, like 12 and 13.
Sure.
I need a running back and a wide receiver. You'll get the best running back, the best wide receiver, and hope for the best. But it's when you get down to the 7th and 8th round is when it starts to become a problem. But when you got those middle things, you have plenty of time to figure out all this stuff and get around things. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and your picks are coming more frequent.
Yeah, like you're not waiting like 20, 30 minutes for a pick.
Right.
And like, oh, and like you basically have to sit there and study and like cross people off, or if you're doing it, it's obviously easier online because they cross them off for you. But, you know, you have guys that you're targeting in these rounds and you got to pay attention, you know? All right, so the draft order's done. All right, what do we got for what we've been watching?
I've finished, is it the Jake Gyllenhaal vehicle on Apple? Is it called Presumed Innocent?
Presumed innocent, yes.
Yeah. That was good.
Very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Good.
What
good-
did you
good.
think about the ending? Did you expect it?
I
or-
I'm not gonna lie, without spoiling anything, I kind of did, but
Yeah.
just in a different way. But what was I gonna say? The other thing was the guy who plays his best friend lawyer. He's good. He's good in it too.
Yeah.
He's from The Night Of. I think he was like the detective in The Night Of.
Okay.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I didn't like going into it. I didn't know what it would be, but it was very good. I'm trying to think if I saw anything else.
Did you finish Time Bandits?
I don't think it's done, but I think I'm current.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're current with it. I mean,
Yeah.
like they still have a couple episodes that come out.
Right. I think they come out on like Wednesday or something.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong though. But yeah,
Oh.
I think it's like maybe 5 episodes. I finished Game of Thrones. I mean, Game of Thrones. Yeah.
I was like, so did the rest of the world, pal.
The Dragons show.
Oh, House of Dragons?
House of Dragons.
You finished it? It's
I
over?
haven't even watched that.
I thought the finale was pretty anticlimactic.
Really?
Not a lot happened. I think people are down on it overall.
Really?
Yeah.
So the second season's a bust?
Yeah, it wasn't anything memorable. I had hopes at one point, like I think it was like the second episode was good.
Yeah, you told me
Third,
that, yeah.
But it wasn't much after that.
Okay. So basically boring.
Yeah, not
So I don't have to rush to watch that?
Not a great show.
Okay, all right. That's disappointing, actually. Maybe it's because CGI and dragons is just too much for them to handle.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe
Were there any dragons?
Yeah, the dragons were cool. That was the one thing I did like.
But was it like 3 minutes out of the whole 10 episodes or whatever it is?
Probably.
Oh, that's awful. That pisses me off. That really makes me mad. You can't call a show House of the Dragons and you have, I don't know, let's just say 10 hours of showtime and you have 3 minutes of dragons.
Yeah, I think that's done intentionally though, like to, less is more, I guess.
Yeah, I get it, but I disagree with it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. They should have called it House of Talking then or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Just like Game of Thrones, you know? But at least you saw the throne enough, you know what I mean? You understood it. But anyway, whatever. What were you watching, Ernie?
I watched the new season of The Umbrella Academy.
Oh, I started that. I'm only like 2.
Well, there's only 6 episodes.
Okay, all right.
it's
So I'm
very
halfway
short.
Are they long episodes? Or like
An
just
hour.
each one's an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
And
The
what-
last one might have been a little longer. I didn't look at the timer on it, but it was good. It was good. It's obviously the end of the series.
Right. This is it, right?
Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
Cool.
So it was a good season overall.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of action?
Yeah.
Because I'll watch that next after what I'm watching right now.
Yeah. Probably more than I would have expected.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The whole cast came back?
Yep.
All right, good. Good.
The only thing is, Victor, and it took me into the first episode until it clicked, and I realized, Victor, the character that plays the actor that plays Victor, she now identifies as a man.
You're right.
So.
Hey, was it Paul Elliott now, or it was Paige, and now it's something
Is
like
that what it is?
Something like that.
So,
Yeah.
Elliot something. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Elliot Page.
Elliott Page. Thank you. Thank you.
Used to be
Ellie,
Emma.
something like that. All right, yeah. So now she's or he is full blown
Yeah.
man in that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go with that. So I finished The Boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, finished The
You think?
Boys last week.
Never slowed down on the penis pics?
Yeah, never. Yeah, it's hard to dissect. Okay, so the show is good.
Right.
All right. I feel like the writers just love to throw penises around in there. It wasn't so much in this season, but just as the show in general, like they still always go back to it, like one way or another. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like it's almost unnecessary for the show. Like you could have wrote it differently. I don't know why they write it like that, which bothers me. But the show as a whole was good. They leave you somewhat on I don't want to say a cliffhanger, but you know there's going to be another season. So then I looked into it, and you want to know when the next season is?
Right.
2026. You have to wait 2 years for this show?
Well, they gotta find some good dick, I guess.
Right? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like,
It's not that easy.
and I think we touched upon this last week, and correct me if I'm wrong if we didn't, but I said there was going to be a lot of spin-offs with that show.
Right.
So I guess maybe that's why, like, they're going to focus.
Generation V.
Yeah, like next year is probably Generation V, and then another show next year. So they'll probably have 2 other shows to just let you watch that, as opposed to The Boys season 5. And then I guess in 2026 they'll have whatever's left with season 5. But like, it gets you into that spot where like, I'm gonna have to rewatch this whole season again. And I hate that.
That's the only issue.
And I hate that because listen, if they take 2 years, but they give you a good like 4 to 5 minute synopsis of, or like a preview of what happened before the last season,
I would say even more than that.
it would probably have to be even more than that, yeah, because they're only 8 episodes, so you're looking at less than 8 hours for the most part. So if you gave a 10-minute thing of all the important stuff just to jog your memory, that would be good, but they never do. It's normally like 2 minutes and they hit the bright spots. And if you haven't watched it yet, I don't want to ruin it to you.
I've seen more.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You're not watching it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You see what they did to the chick Newman that was running for president or vice president, I think it was?
Yeah, you mean the Indian girl?
I think so, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was wild, right? That
yeah,
scene?
I wasn't expecting that.
No, not at all.
And then it's kind of like Butcher's going rogue, right?
Right. So like he finally gave in to his alter ego, if you want to call it that, like, and
Or his mental illness, whatever it is.
yeah, because he took the compound V.
Right.
So he had like 2 personalities in him. He had the good side and the bad side. And the good side was his wife
Right.
that passed away, and the bad side was Negan from Walking Dead.
Right.
And he didn't figure this out till towards the end. And he says, "Well, if you need me, I'm there, but I don't I'm not there just whenever you need me. You gotta almost let go and let me do my thing."
Right.
So he winds up, I guess, whatever he has in him, it's like some kind of like octopus or like
Right.
alien kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he takes over, and now he leaves, and then at the end, all the boys are split up.
They're all getting rounded up.
Yeah, some are arrested, some are like going to like off sites and whatever. Like, so it left you on a crazy cliffhanger, sort of, where like you don't know where the next season is gonna start, right? Like, is Butcher gonna go after them?
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't look good for the boys.
No, it doesn't. Like, they're all. What was the other leader's name? I forget his name. For the boys, he took over for Butcher.
Mother's Milk.
That was his name?
I think so.
Really? The black guy?
Yeah, I think so.
What was his regular name? They didn't call him Mother's Milk all the time, did they?
And them.
That's such a random name. Anyway, either which way, I forgot what they did with him. I'm drawing a blank on him.
Well, I kind of feel like they all got.
Starlight escaped.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, because she
Oh,
flew
she
away.
blasted off, and
Yeah.
everybody else. I
But
think
Yui got caught.
I think everybody else is
Frenchie got
is
caught.
in confinement.
Yeah. Okay.
And it looked like they used the Generation V kids.
They did, and that's why you have to watch Gen V, because two of the kids they used at the very end of that episode, which was kind of cool, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I've been doing. I'm a couple episodes in Mayor of Kingstown, but we'll talk about that next week. I should be pretty much done with that. And yeah, that'll wrap it up. Like, we'll get your songs and we'll go from there.
Alrighty. 3 picks as usual. First up, we got Mavi with Shadowbox. Next up, Larry June, Doing It For Me. And third up, this is an older album that I really like. The Strokes, Is This It? Those are 3 picks for this week.
All right, great. Fantastic. All right, folks, that'll do it for us today. Everyone enjoy your week. We'll see you back here next week. Yeah, enjoy the sun.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Later, guys.